Good morning, and how are you today? It is a fabulous new morning for us, a day after a phenomena. We had a great day with this phenomena coming through yesterday. Morning, Stacy. How are you feeling today? Wasn't it beautiful yesterday? Looking at the phenomena in the sky. Oh my God, I was just, hi Loretta, good morning. We saw it here, but we were clouded over. But man, it was still amazing. Morning, Ryan, to see that phenomena in the sky yesterday. Oh boy, that was amazing. When we went into the backyard and it was all of a sudden, when it went completely dark, all the lights that the lights that come on when it turns dark, they all came on all over the backyard. But what we were looking at in the sky, and it got cold. We actually felt the cold chill. It was amazing. Kylie was with us and she had her glasses, and you know her, she loves her glasses. Sometimes we call her Yoko Ono when she puts her glasses on. So she was out there and she saw it, she understood it. It was amazing. Plus we saw it on the TV. Yuko got a really good view. She did a reel about it. So Yuko got it in the right way, guys. And so I think she has a short reel on it, and it was amazing. Good morning, Terry. So yes, it was a spectacular thing. So how are you feeling today? I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so excited about what we saw yesterday that I am choking away. So anyway, let us look at something. I want to speak about this for a minute. Can you imagine most of our world, in North America, we will all tune in from the time it hit Mexico and it's working its way north. And we started watching it. So as you know, Canada, they have an issue about their their children. The government protects their kids no matter what. So that's a drink. I have it there. So they protect their kids no matter what. So they shut down the schools because, you know, heaven help you. You have one of your own children and you pull their nose. The government of Canada gets angry. What did you do to our citizens? Hi, morning, Valerie. And I think it's because we have so few citizens that as soon as you have a child, the government of Canada goes as our citizen. So if in case you pull their nose, you cut their hair, whatever you do to a child in Canada, the government comes after you. So therefore, they shut down the schools yesterday for this entire day. It was fabulous. So I have a question to ask you guys. Good morning, Yuko. I saw your read. It was amazing. Here is this question. All of us had our thoughts were on these things. There was all sorts of negative and lots of positive things people were saying. The end of times, all of that. Anyway, it proved not to be. But think of a moment. Can you imagine if we humans could control this, what we would do to each other? There would be countries that never would see sunlight because that is what it is. So that is the pocket. Hi, Arita, good morning. That God kept for himself, or your creator, the universe said, I am not giving you, man, that power to control sunlight on the moon. Because if we had gotten that power, we would be controlling others with it. Some countries, the powers that be would say some countries are not getting sunlight today or forever. They're in the dark. So it is amazing that that was held by the universe, by God. And maybe that's the third thing or the second thing created according to scriptures. But all I know for sure, besides COVID, this is the only thing in the past 10 years that has captured our minds so much. COVID and now this phenomena in the sky. It was amazing. And if you did not see the energy or feel the energy in the day, then you need to get your emotions balanced, because the squirrels, all the small ground animals were away. You couldn't find one in our backyard, and we live in a forest. As usual, it's only the birds, a few birds, and it's only early spring, so a few birds were moving. Hi, good morning, Nancy. So the birds, of course, if you go back to biblical time, they were the one that was outside after the storm when Noah's Ark, right? No other animal, just the birds. Remember that. And yesterday, if you were at your home and you were looking for animals, like the ground animals running around, squirrels, from morning, they were all disappeared. You didn't see a squirrel, nothing, no skunk, nothing hanging around in our forest that we live in. And that is to show you that the energy was different. The energy all day long until that thing passed was different. And tune in. And that was a time to raise up your eyes to the sky and look up. I know some places you couldn't get your glasses. We did give Kylie one. She didn't really need it, but it was the fun part of it. All we got the dark. It went really, really cold. It was cold, and then it got dark. And you could see, and I'm saying that is the hand of the universe doing its thing. And we were not given that power. If we had it, we would screw up each other's life. So that is something the universe God held for themselves, and it was a phenomenon. And it was something to celebrate because it's only once in a lifetime that you get to see it, or maybe you have been fortunate to see the one in 2017. So next one is 20 years, not in Canada, 140 years for us, something like that. But anyway, here we are. It's the morning blessing. So without further ado, let us get into the morning blessing. This should be happening more often. No, then it is not a phenomenon. Then it's not special. Then it will not bring all the minds of the universe together if it happens more often. We'll take it for every day, like we do with everything, Stace. We have to have something that is special, something that we are able to have and hold for a long time. So with all of this said, welcome to the morning blessing, where you are going to get your vitamins for the day. I am fired up and I'm ready to go after this phenomena in the sky. So I said when. I want you to answer the question to yourself, when? Why do we always use this? We are not supposed to speak with when and then follow it with that special word. That is very important, but we do it anyway. We choke ourselves in making changes or making decisions to change our lives. We look for when. It is always when. And if you haven't caught on yet, when I pay off my credit card, I will begin to save. When? It's always when. But you know what is wrong? Is that we follow when, which is something that doesn't move. When has no action within it. When is just when. And when does not move. Highland, when has no action within it. When as a word does not say action. But we are really keeping ourselves in a bind. We are keeping ourselves at a low energy. When we say, we follow when with I. That word, that is, I am who I am. That's what they say, the word of God, the universe, right? I am this. And when we take when, like when we use it so often, all of us, and we put when before I, we put it before we, because the only way we can justify not taking action is to throw when right at the front. When I do this, I will be able to do that. It's always when. When is not an actionable word. When is stagnant. When stinks, because it's stagnant water stinks. It says there and it smells. We all know that. A stone that is stuck on a hill and is not moving, moss grows on it. You might not even recognize the type of stone it is because the moss has grown on it. Many times in our life, especially women, when our organs start functioning, the doctors tell us you have to either take it out because stuff will start to grow on it. It's not moving. It's no longer functioning. When? Right? So it's not doing its job anymore. It's not actionable. None of the organs are moving. The liver, the kidney, when they stop functioning, they need to be replaced or taken out completely, right? So obviously when is not it, but we use it, and we, as I said already a million times, the English language, if you speak another language, is the most confusing language in the world. There are words that sound alike, they don't spell alike, but they mean different things, they look alike. It's just, you know what it is. It's like they didn't know what to do with the words after a while. When I move, I will get a place to put my exercise bike. When I move. When? When do you plan to move? What is your plan? Proper preparation prevents poor performance, my father said. You need to prepare. So when I move, I will get my new place. When I move, I will have place for a bike. When? Specific. A SMART goal. It's simple. We were all taught those. We got them at school. We got them at the offices where we work. We got them at McDonald's, wherever we went. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and when the time. So we sit here and we use when as a crutch not to take action. That's what we use it for. But we are not looking at how devastating it is to us, because we are putting it before ourselves. So when, who has no action, when that does not move, what did the dictionary tell me this morning? How soon? That's what it means. It still has a question, right? How soon? Like I said, answer the question. How soon? That's what the dictionary told me this morning. All I got in meditation was when. Everything we do in our life, we put a when. When I take the cake out of the oven, I'll bake the bread. When I do this, I will do that. When, it's always when. But we are killing ourselves, choking our own amazing self with I following when. When is covering I, because when is saying you're not taking action. When I do this, I will do this. That is what we say. So when that has no time frame, when that does not move, when that has stuff growing all over it, we go, when I retire, I will read more. You didn't read before. So when you retire, you're going to read more? When I retire, I will do this, Tessa-Marie. When I retire, I'm going to be amazing, Tessa-Marie. When I retire, I'm going to really take care of myself. What are you going to do? So when you retire, that's when you're going to make sure that you look good, you feel good, because when you feel good, you're going to do good. So in the meantime, though, what do? Answer the question to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Answer that. This is not funny. When things are not moving in our life, we have to look at what we are saying to ourselves. We are every time we open them out, prophecies, prophecies, prophecies. You know, when I retire, I'm going to be the best person in the world. No, you have to do it now. I covered by when. When has 4 letters. I stands by itself. I cannot take the pressure coming from when. That is why you crumble. That is why you don't do anything. That is why we stop. That's why we don't function. That's why we crumble. That's why we don't do anything. Because we are waiting for when to do it. When is the key to getting where we want to be? No. When is the key that keeps you locked in the shadows? When tells you, you have to do this first before you do that. That's what when is saying. But you're not doing any of it. And you're depending on when. When I lose the weight, I will feel good. You can feel good no matter what weight you are. I needed to hear this today. Thank you. I'm so happy somebody needed this tablet today, that vitamin for the day. When I lose the weight, I will feel good. Really? What are you doing? When? What is the action you're doing to lose the weight? Because you know what? You can ditch when, and you can say, I am walking every day. and I'm feeling better every day. I am doing this. It's the doing. When does not do anything. When sits there waiting for something to drag it us into action. And the something is us. When is actionless. That's my word. When has no movement. When does not move. When just stops there and be when. When my check comes. Have you heard this? When my check comes, I will go get the grocery. Yeah, but you have 400 pounds of butter, rice, and pasta, and everything, and dig in that freezer. There is food there. Stop waiting for when to deliver something to you. Take action. While you're waiting for the check, why not go see what you already have you can use to prepare a meal? Instead of checking to see every 5 minutes to look at your account nowadays, before it was the mailbox. So when is a waste of time. When you're dealing with when you're not functioning at high level, I'm so happy that Lon decided that when is important. I needed to hear this today. We all have to realize while we are waiting for when to function, we are missing the boat. When I make money, I will be happy. As soon as I make money, I'll be happy. But you know, somebody asked Chris Rock about this. They said to him about money. How do you feel? What does money do for you? And he said that money allows you to have experiences you wouldn't normally have if you didn't have it. But money does not make you happy. But we have heard so many people say, when I get money, when I win the lottery, oh, that one really sends me into a tizzy. When I win the lottery, Tessa-Marie, I'll be so happy. And I go, that is your financial plan? You have no idea, as a planner, sitting in front of clients at the bank and asking them, do you have a retirement plan or 401k or Roth IRA or tax-free savings account? Oh no, Tessa-Marie, my retirement plan is the lottery. When I win the lottery, and I go, oh God. And you know, you really cannot say anything because what you want to say would have you fired. So you shut up, you breathe, you swallow, and you say, well, let us have a little plan here. Can you afford $10? And that is how you have to move it. But it's the when. When doesn't have an action. When doesn't say, did you buy a lottery ticket? That is the action. No, but I intend to buy it, and when I buy it, I will win. So there you go. When. When is a defeating word, especially starting a sentence with when. I will have, one says, you do not need $500 for you to read. Read for 10 minutes. You do not have to exercise for 5 hours. Exercise for 10 minutes. You do not need a Peloton in your house with clothes hanging on it to exercise. When I get a bigger house, I will have my friends over. Your friends are not coming to see your big house. They're coming to see you. So the house you have is good enough for you. It should be good enough for your friends. We think we have to make it better for our friends to come on to like us. Our friends, I have a friend that I didn't come to see your house, Tessa-Marie, I came to see you. And that was what is important, to hear somebody say that. So you do not need to have all of those things for you to find happiness. You can read for 10 minutes a day. You can exercise for 10 minutes a day. This morning I did 18 minutes. 18 minutes of stretching and moving. You do not need to have a bike. You do not need weights. You can just use the body. I will have my friends over. That one is really the one that frightens me. When is a defeating word, especially starting a sentence with when. When we start a sentence, we have to understand that using when is killing us. When I feel better, I will walk. But you need to walk to keep those muscles going so you could feel better. Walk for 5 minutes. Go outside and walk around from your neighbor's house to your house and do it once. Tomorrow, do it twice. When I have a spouse or significant other, I will be so happy. Really? Nobody is going to make you happy. Money doesn't do it. Other people doesn't do it. They will bring joy for a moment. They'll bring a little bit of a smile, a little, they'll stimulate you. But they cannot give you that high happiness and joy you're seeking. It comes from you. So when we are expecting it to come from somebody else, we are losing ourselves. We are depending on somebody to do it for me. I need to go to the store, but it is raining. So when the rain stops, I will go. Did the rain call you this morning and say, I'll be only raining for 10 hours or 10 minutes, and you can go because I'll keep raining again at 11? Or you ask somebody, one of those machines we have in our houses, or you look at the news and you try to, and the weatherman is so wrong. Yeah, because you were depending on them to decide whether you should take an umbrella or wear your raincoat or something, or your boots, right? Because when told you, it will clear because somebody else has control. And you are giving it to when that is actionless. When needs a wrecking ball. We need to use a wrecking ball and smash when into the ethers. When needs to change places with I am doing this. So to get our power back and take it away from when, we need to use I am doing this. I am in the process. I am going to. It's a big thing you want. You want a big thing, how big it is. But every journey of you start takes one step. I keep saying, when you turn on the car, the headlights only allow you to see 100 yards. You can measure it. And you have to drive to that first 100 yards for you to get the other one to see. So if you are standing there waiting for when to open the door for you to enter, then you have to break it down yourself. I am doing this. You have to replace it with I am doing this. When should never be the first word in the beginning of a sentence when you speak. When somebody says, when are you going to do that? You say, I am doing it now. When you say that, you're putting them in their place, especially if they're being sarcastic. Or you keep saying you're going to do it. Well, I am doing it now. The same when is in everybody's vocabulary. Each of us, we use it without thinking, and we have to be more observant of our words. Or it's like we have to think those words out before we say them. Because when is going to keep us in the dark. Replace when with I am doing 10 minutes of reading today. Just replace when with that. And sit down, grab a book, whatever, and hold it and read it for 10 minutes. Put a timer on. And do it only for 10 minutes and see how you feel. Reading is something a lot of people say, I don't like to read. And that's okay. You don't have to like to do anything. But the thing about reading is wherever that author has gone in their mind, you are going there too. And that opens up your mind. It actually opens it up so that you can absorb more of what is really happening in the world. With a mind that has put 10 minutes a day into reading, you can maybe read 3 or 4 books a year by just 10 minutes. You mark where you stop and you do it again. The when of going to walk around the block for 10 minutes every day will show in dividend at the end of the year. A dividend is something you get after you have invested time in doing something. So the dividend you get when you invest in the stock market is because you took action and invest. So the dividend is what they give you above and beyond the price of your stock. So when you are sitting there with your Apple stock of $700 or more for one Apple stock, and Apple pays a dividend of $4 per stock, that is extra money above and beyond the value of your stock. So when you invest 10 minutes in yourself, and it gives you the return of more flexibility because you walk, more knowledge because you learn a new word, that is dividend. And dividend is something you can put in your wallet, in your back pocket, and have it. So that is what we have to remember. Invest the time in the now. Do what you're supposed to do because it pays off in the future. It's like the check you're expecting. You will have more flexibility. You'll be able to stand. From the time I've been doing this live, a question everybody keeps asking me is, how do you stand up for half an hour or sometimes an hour doing a live? I have always walked. I always went for walks, always. And it's not that I walk fast, but it was a continuity of those muscles making them move. Good morning, Marina. How are you feeling today? So when is not a plan, when is actionless, when stifles you, when crushes I, because when is a heavier word than when you go, when I get money, I'll do this. When I have the time, I will walk. When I have the time, I will do this. When I retire, I will read. Come on, people. Stop waiting for when to be your projector. You have to project yourself. We need to change this. Thank you, Marina. We need to change this. As I said, replace when with I am doing 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of exercise. To you, as I said, it's maybe not a lot. When should never be the first letter in a sentence when you're talking about you. Actionless word, when. It has no purpose. It does not move. It just, the dictionary said it's how soon. It still asks a question. When needs another question. How soon? When is not a plan. It is not a smart goal. No, it has to be more specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and the time. When falls asleep. And when you wake up, you have lost. The opportunity has gone away. And when is the only thing that is standing in your way. You can see on either side of when, because you are I, you're only one letter. So when do you need to have a bike to exercise? When you'll read? When will you do that? When is everything? When is a defeating word, like I told you, especially starting a sentence with when. It keeps you back, because when is not giving you the opportunity to make a decision. You're going, well, when I find a man, I'll be happy. When I make money, when I win the lottery, when it's always that. And can you say that in a positive way? I want you to keep this just before you go, so that you will remember this. When I get a job that pays more, I'll be able to save. When I lose the weight, I will do this. And you cannot talk about this with energy, because when it's choking when I get that, I'm getting a treadmill. When I get that treadmill, I will be exercising every day. But you have 2 treadmills. In the Caribbean, they call it number 11. If you were hiring a car and the car had a license plate number 11, what did you use to get from point A to point B? They would say number 11. You knew that they walked. They did not wait for the car to come. So when are you going to make an effort to get that weight down? When? Well, when the weather gets better, when it's hot, when it's warm. It's like you don't have a coat. We have to prepare for June, right? It's summertime. Actually, it's less than a little bit over a month. May 24th weekend, the sun comes out, and according to Yuko and I, there's the elbows that are flaky and heels that haven't seen anything since winter, everything. Because when summer comes, I'm going to brush my heel and trim my elbow and cut my toenail. When? And that morning you wake up and it's hot and you decide, I am putting my summer dress on. And you look and everything is, and when you walk, things are dropping from your heels. They're so dry. Skin is falling off every step you take. And people are looking at you like you're spreading breadcrumbs. And the birds might follow you. So everything is when you're waiting for the when for things to happen. We have to do better than that. Because every time we do better than that, we are going to continue to be better than that in every step we take. The minute you start caring about you will notice you will feel better. The minute you start doing something, instead of saying, when this happens, I will do this, again, when covers I. And it's a defeating word. It's a stagnant word. It does not move. So let's change this around. And let us move into, I am doing this. There is always a part of you can do. You can't walk for an hour. I am not saying that. But just walk around your house. Get up every hour and stand up and stretch, touch your toes for a minute. Instead of getting up 2 hours later, oh God, old age is something else. No, old age is not something else. What is something else is that you choose not to move. That is something else. And have a great day. I am happy and grateful. Stacey and Lundy and all of you guys who said something, thank you so much. If you wait till then, you'll be ready. Is that so? No, you will never be ready. We are like that. I will do my best every day to live a fulfilled life. We have to do this. It's preparing. Most of you here are younger than me, I'm sure. Well, except for Loretta, but because I know how old she is. But most of you here are younger than me. And all I'm saying is to prepare now. Do things today that will enhance your life tomorrow. What did they say? Live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else later on. That's why I'm able to stand. I practice things. I do things. I read. I open my mind to a book. Every day I read. Every day I am reading. That is what I chose to do that because I realized the knowledge I am getting from even a word. How an author uses a word. And I'm going through those places with them. And I'm writing a story. I told you guys about it a little yesterday. And it started as a simple thing. And somebody said to me, is it based on some things you have read? I cannot do that. I have to allow that mind of mine to have its own game. Because from a very early age, I was taught to open up your mind and do things and think. I wrote stories to my children instead of reading from a book. I taught them to read, but I didn't read to them. They read to me. I created stories so I could open their mind. So I'm in the habit of writing. And all I do, you're going to freak out. Do you know that if you write for 15 minutes a day, that you can have 300 words a day? 15 minutes. You do a half an hour, you almost get 900 words. It starts. You can only, if you know what, I want to write and to talk about something, write about it. And if you're afraid to let your mind go, time yourself. Put your watch on a timer and just do it for that time. Because the other portion, if it is a desire of yours to succeed at something, you will be carrying the regret to bed with you. And you will get up in the morning and you will be thinking how tired you are. I didn't sleep well last night. And I always say, what did you take to bed with you last night? And most people don't know unless I dig and say you had to have something you didn't do yesterday or you weren't happy about that you dragged to bed with you, and it doesn't like lying down. It wants you to stay awake and play with it. And that is what we must remember. So guys, remember, when is a really awful, defeating word. And do not let when come into your life, because when will keep you back. Hello, Glenn Amma. How are you doing this morning? So, Tessa's book recommendation, show in the future part. Marina, Kathleen, good morning. How are you doing? When is the word we have to run away from. Remember this. When is not going to give us anything. When covers I. And you have to stop starting your sentences with when and covering I, because then you are making yourself smaller. When I get a better job, I will say. When I get a bigger home, I will have friends over. When I get furniture, I will have friends over. When I have the money, I will do this. When I have this, when I get a lover, I'll be so happy. When I win come on. Instead of saying, you know what? I am going to do this for me. I am doing that for me. You have a great library. Is that what you call it? I do have a great library. I'm giving tons of books to the Kidney Foundation on the 19th. They take books, so no, I am giving it away literally because I love books. I was told by my dad, books are sacred. Respect them because those words in there are amazing. So guys, have a wonderful morning and day. And remember, what we started the day with, I'm going to end it. Yesterday was fabulous. It was a wonderful thing to see this eclipse happening. Even if we were in Toronto and all we got was dark and all these solar lights went on. But the air was cold. And before that all happened, the animals were not moving anywhere. The animals, the squirrels and all these things disappeared. Only the birds were flying, not that many. And there was a calmness and the energy was certainly different. It was different. And when the sun came back out to play, you know what happened? The energy changed. You could feel the vibration in the air. And that is why I always say to you that the sun comes up every day. No matter what happens. My birds went into the... Yes, that they knew. Not we live in the forest and I couldn't find a squirrel all day. They didn't come out. And the few birds that were flying, you could see they were confused. But when it went dark, they all just disappeared. And we had that darkness for here, about 3 to 4 minutes. It just stayed like that. And we were out in the backyard and it went cold. When it went cold, it was almost like it was coming. And like I said, thank God and the universe that they kept that phenomena to themselves. Because had they given man control over that, there would be countries in the world that would never see sunlight. And when you have a challenge, remember this, that although the moon covered the sun, and the moon is really smaller than the sun, you know that, but it stepped between the earth and the sun, and it blinded the sun. The sun waited though, it did not give up. The sun stayed there and it breathed. And every now and again, and little by little, the busy moon, like Kylie said to me, when we explained it to her, she said, that moon is bossy. That's what Kylie said. She said, it was a bossy moon. It came and it covered the sun. I said, okay. And she said, that is a bossy moon. So the moon is bossy. The moon travels 1,000 miles in every month, doing its thing. Thank you, Grandmama, because we have to remember that amazing phenomena, some of us won't see it again. And those of us who saw it, remember that is the thing that the universe and God kept for themselves. They did not hand it over to us. They handed the earth to us, and look at what we're doing to it. So can you imagine we had control over the weather patterns or a phenomena like this? Oh my God, what would we do to each other? So have a great day and think of that. And if you haven't seen it, check it out because it was worth being in the moment. It really was worth it. Have a great day. And there was something you learned when you saw that. Remember, man has no control. We only have the earth and we're messing it up. So let us look at you wonderful people. Stacy, Nancy, Arita, Yuko, Marina, Ryan, Kathleen, and Loretta and Londi. Thank you, wonderful, amazing humans. See you on the other side of time. Have a great day and enjoy the view. Whatever view you have, enjoy. Look for something awesome in the tiny things for today. Have a great day. Bye, everybody. And you have to go.